This week on Brooklyn Verse, we're talking hometown heroes, talking the best and the worst of the athletes that Brooklyn has to offer. So please like, share, and subscribe to the Bridgeside Network, and let's get the debate going.
Go Bridgeside!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an edition of Brooklyn Verse. I'm your host, Dr. Philly Kaggs. I got to my left, Chris Cross Lazaro, and to his left, got the new look. Stephen James.
New look. Gotta get slimmer.
I guess that's what it was. He was trying to lose some weight, so he shaved off the 4 pounds of hair that he had on his face.
Handsome fellow, no matter what.
You know it. Thank you.
Well, all right. Let's get the debate going, guys. You guys are agreeing too much, man. Now,
I know.
Now I have the biggest beard on the show. I guess that was my plan all along. But
you're getting there.
Maybe in a couple of years when you hit puberty, you'll get a bigger beard.
You.
Anyway, let's get
got a whole 3 months on me.
Let's get right into
Is today the day we're talking about Brooklyn traffic?
No. We talked a lot about Brooklyn traffic, Brooklyn streets, Brooklyn MTA, Brooklyn everything. But we're talking Brooklyn-born athletes. We're talking about homegrown guys. That's what we're going to... So some sports have a little more than others, but we want to talk about the guys that are from the streets of Brooklyn. Brooklyn's quite large. If it was its own city, it'd be like the 3rd largest city in the country, I think. But it's not. It's part of New York City.
After Rhode Island.
But what a guy after Rhode Island.
Okay.
What are some athletes? I'll start with Stephen. What are some athletes, famous athletes, that come from our very own Brooklyn?
Well, the first thing you think of, especially in my grandfather's day, and even in coming up as a kid, the first thing you think about when you think about Brooklyn is boxing. For me, it's boxing. So guys like Floyd Patterson, guys like Iron Mike Tyson, made Brooklyn, put it on the map from Brownsville, one of the toughest areas in all of Brooklyn. Training out of Brooklyn, put Brooklyn on the map, and we got a great video game out of him. So,
one of the best video games of all time.
Mortal
Kombat?
Kombat?
No.
All right, I'll stop with that stuff.
And his YouTube clips of just, his interviews, which are... But his clips of his knockouts are just
and the one-man
amazing.
Show that he did, Undisputed, which was fantastic.
It really
he did
was.
For, I believe it was HBO.
Really
Not only that, he's doing a podcast now. Hot boxing with Tyson.
I did not know that.
He does one with Peter Rosenberg too, from the Michael Kay show.
Yeah. He's really embraced the
it's good to see him have a
performance
second.
type of,
Exactly. That Undisputed really took
The Hangover.
That Undisputed really took another side of Tyson, really dove into him. He's
a lot of people didn't know what it was like growing up in Brooklyn to keep it in
and he has
a
kind of a sad story with he got tied up with the wrong people who were trying to just vulture him through his career.
It must not have been from Brooklyn.
You're talking about the promoter, Don King?
Yeah. But it's...
Tyson is, not to steal your guy, but I'm fascinated.
I think we could share him.
Okay.
I'll have to call him,
Tyson and Muhammad Ali, I'm fascinated with both of them, so I've been on many Mike Tyson YouTube binges. I've probably watched every interview the guy has done, / probably half his fights and all his knockouts.
He has some of the best sound clips of all time.
And what do you do with the other 17 minutes left in the hour?
So, no, in all seriousness, Tyson not only... Obviously, everybody knows about his speech impediment, etc., but the guy is philosophical and smart, way beyond what he's getting credit for.
Yeah.
And if you listen to some of the things he says and his philanthropy and his life lessons, he's phenomenal to watch, and he can teach you a lot of things. Not only about, what it's like being a star at the top, but being the lowest of the lows when he went to jail for rape and all the drugs that he's done and hit rock bottom and depression and this and that and suicidal, and he really is not only one of the most influential and amazing Brooklyn-born athletes. He's maybe the top 5 of all time in any sport, from anywhere.
So let me ask Stephen. I'm going to ask you because you brought up boxing, but I want to try to get into it because I really like all the stuff Chris was saying about Tyson because it's really great to hear that he has so many other layers to him. But what other sports are you think big with Brooklyn?
The other one would probably be most synonymous would be baseball. I would say baseball because the Brooklyn Dodgers, guy like Sandy Koufax, they were called the Brooklyn Bums for years.
Yeah.
Had the Dodgers not moved under duplicitous means, mind you, to LA, I would have absolutely have been a Dodger fan. I wouldn't be a Mets fan than I am today. And still, you can hear people still chanting for the Dodgers to come back. It's mostly old timers, but I would say Sandy Koufax is the prime example. That 55 pennant, that World Series, all of that.
He's from your alma mater, Lafayette High School.
Unfortunately, I don't claim it. I can't.
Well, Chris
I was there for 11 days.
There's and John Franco.
John
also
Franco,
from the same high school.
for sure.
Great baseball.
I graduated high school with his daughter, Nicole, actually.
Really?
Shout out to Nicole Franco.
Does she have a nice...
You graduated high school with...
No, but his son,
hold
John
on, you
Franco
went to-
Jr., Poly Prep.
Oh, yeah,
John
that's
Franco Jr. got drafted by...
I thought
I know.
Well, you don't have to be from Brooklyn to know that. I thought, for some reason, I thought Severian, but that's why I was like, Severian, how'd you graduate from Severian?
No, actually, speaking of Poly Prep, we're going to talk Brooklyn-born athletes before I quickly get into
I was
that.
gonna basketball.
I'm going to give a
sure you're
shout
into
out to
basketball.
Joakim Noah, who's
Yeah,
not from
he's not born in
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn, right? But he went to Poly Prep.
I was on JV when he was on varsity. I was a freshman,
okay.
he was a senior, so
I didn't know you guys
we
overlapped.
practiced
Oh, that's awesome.
all the time together and played
Well, that's
together
perfect,
all
because
the
I was going
time.
to ask you about basketball with the
Well,
Brooklyn guys.
Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, and then his
Green.
family immediately moved him to
It counts.
Carolina.
We're claiming it. Brooklyn is claiming it.
All
We're
right.
claiming
I
the
guess we
greatest
can.
of all time.
Bernard King was a Brooklyn legend.
Yes.
Legend back
Went
in his
to
day.
My alma mater and Mr. Bridgeside's alma mater, Fort Hamilton High School.
And then you got Carmelo Anthony, you got Chris
Chris Mullen.
Mullen.
He was born, but then he moved, right?
Yeah.
Not as early as Jordan. Jordan
It still
was
counts.
born and he was gone.
If you've ever had, this is what makes
Melo,
it
I
count.
think, lived a little here. Then he went to
He went to high school here.
He did. I thought he grew up in Baltimore.
Went
too.
to Lincoln.
Yes, you're right. He
Did grow up in
moved to
okay.
Baltimore.
But continue. I'm sorry.
No, Chris Mullen, another tie.
Mullen.
I'm sorry, but Mullen,
No,
my
Mullen.
uncle went to Zavarian with
Yeah.
him, and Mullen, a couple friends of my uncle's grew up playing with him, and they said he would come and just literally run the courts.
Mullen. They said that there wasn't a, because he went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
There wasn't a Catholic school gym that he didn't know how to break into, because he used to just go and just play at night.
Now
I
he
treat
became
this-
the coach of St.
I treat
John's.
I treat this guy who was a ref in public school and Catholic schools for the longest time.
Well,
And
tell
still
them, what
is.
do you treat him in physical?
I'm a
They
physical
don't know.
therapist.
They don't
yeah,
know.
Sorry, physical therapist. They should know if they want. Come on.
Yeah, it's in the name. He's a doctor.
But he's right. He's right. Physical therapist. I treat a guy who's, and I love talking about basketball because he's a big basketball guy. He's been around for a while. He's been coached. So he's reffed guys like Lou Alcindor. He calls him Lou Alcindor because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Manhattan, New York City, Connie Hawkins, Wally Zerbiak, Mark Jackson.
Wow.
Chris Mullen too. The list goes on. But the point is, to make a quick point, he said Chris Mullen ran the fast break better than anyone he's ever seen. I was like, Chris Mullen?
Chris Mullen,
No, you
yeah.
wouldn't expect it.
You wouldn't expect it, yeah.
He just said that he would run the 3-on-2 better than anyone because he would stop at the foul line, he'd make the pass, or he'd hit that foul shot, and his jumper was so good, he hit it every time. So,
Could you imagine if the NBA, I still would say that Curry and Thompson will go down or would have gone down as the best two shooters of all time. You could throw
Yeah.
Ray Allen in there, but I'm putting those. But when Mullen was around, or even the
Bird.
70s, 80s, 90s, if they really promoted the
And
three-point
Bird.
shot more, and Bird, of course,
yeah, I
Reggie
gotta give it to
Miller.
Bird's the top guy I got to give it to. I know what you're saying because I agree with you.
If the game was more, planned outside in versus inside out, Chris Mullen was one of those guys that would go down as maybe a top 20 player of
agree.
all time.
I agree.
Because he would have put up numbers.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's the best to come out of Brooklyn?
Best to
Let's
come out of
take
Brooklyn?
Jordan out of it because he
Okay.
would win no matter what, and he's not. He's born here, but
Yeah.
let's take.
I would probably go with Tyson as far as most recognizable, most accomplished, a person who has had the most cultural impact as a Brooklyn athlete. Someone who's had a ton of success as well, Joe Torre,
a good
under your flagship
Yeah.
team.
And I think he has like a little league that was around for a while, or a stadium around the Marine Park.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm not
He
sure.
does.
But Brooklyn sports here, little leagues everywhere.
Gil
John
Hodges.
Franco has one.
We
Gil
got to
Hodges
throw
by
in
the
Gil
train.
Hodges. Talk about Gil Hodges Field. We're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Little League. Got to throw in Gil Hodges. Brought the Mets their title. Was the manager in '69. Was on the Brooklyn Dodgers. Was born in Brooklyn. If there's a guy that's bleeding Brooklyn, he's not here anymore. If there's a guy that's bleeding Brooklyn, it would be Gil
I believe
Hodges.
Ty Cobb as well was one.
And
I'm
I'll
not
give
sure
you
about that.
No, I'm just going to add a
Best.
kind
I'm
of a
gonna say-
random name,
I'll
but
throw
but
it to you the best.
cool name.
Who's the best?
The best, Jordan or
And
Tyson.
then you give me the cool name. No, forget Jordan. Jordan doesn't count.
All right, Tyson then.
Okay.
Hands
And
down.
You
I
give me a
guess.
cool name.
Paulie Malignaggi, the boxer.
Yeah, that's right.
He, he's got his cult following of
Yeah.
Italian Americans throughout the country, and he's right here from
The analyst
our
section.
neighborhood in Brooklyn. Well, he's from Diker, but Bay Ridge,
It's
Diker.
adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very close. But so we were talking about the best that are from Brooklyn. Unfortunately, Brooklyn also has some pretty bad ones to offer as well. You know, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
Hyde.
kind of thing going on. So we have some pretty bad and some busts from Brooklyn. So this time I'll give it to Chris to start it off. Chris.
This is
Hey,
easy
stop.
for me
Oh,
to jump into because
Let's do it then.
I wonder if we have the same one.
Well, I will start by saying it's all about Lincoln High School basketball because we'll give. Let's give Stephon Marbury credit and throw him out of the way because he wasn't. We
He
should have
was not a
thrown him.
bust.
We should have thrown him in like the successful people. But
I agree.
then his cousin Sebastian
that.
Telfair came out and was breaking scoring records in Brooklyn, and he obviously did not pan out in the NBA. And then again, so I played high school basketball at Poly Prep. I graduated in 06. Lance Stevenson was coming on the scene like 2011, 2012, and my brother had graduated, so he had ties to people who were playing against Stevenson in the like Brooklyn area, and Stevenson was supposed to be the next, I don't know,
Marbury?
Marbury, or maybe even, they were looking at him, he was like one of the top recruits in the whole country. So I'm not going to call Stevenson a bust, but he has not become, he's just a role player in the NBA. So his
Telfair's
expectations,
worse. I mean,
Telfair got cut.
But here's the thing with Telfair and Stevenson. There was no huge expectation on them as much as there was on Marbury.
Telfair was like the 10th pick of the draft, if I remember correctly.
But no one came in with more pomp and more circumstance than Marbury. When he came back to the Knicks, there was all of this hoopla about how he's going to save the franchise. He was going to do all these great things for us. He was he wasn't a good team player. He didn't have a great relationship with the media. Didn't play his best basketball in his own hometown. With the exception, if you're taking away his Timberwolves run, he's an average player.
Because people
He's
were
okay in
saying
the
that
Suns too.
Average.
He's a good enough player that I don't think you could put him in the bus personally. Also, he's the greatest player to ever play in China.
The only he's still there. Was it,
I think he's
Peking
still there.
ducks, not
He was-
Peking ducks, Beijing ducks. Peking duck is a food.
he was so good on the Timberwolves his first couple of years that people put him ahead of Garnett, his teammate, like as the best player
The
on
only
the team
reason
for
why
a
I'm
couple of
saying
years.
it's a bust is because the ceiling for him was so high. The expectation, I'm not saying it's his fault. He didn't meet the expectation that had blown up for him so big. The Starberry t-shirts, he came back to Lincoln. I had the chance to see him speak. He was doing like a motivational speech. He came in wearing a fur coat, talked for 3 minutes after these kids were waiting for
Marbury?
6 hours and just left.
Which I say, it's funny. Marbury sometimes with his media appearances looks like he's got other things going on. But I'd say there were a couple of times where he did things for the community where I thought was great. I remember the time he went to Coney Island and promoted his sneakers that were only like $20 when sneaker prices are out of control, and I thought that was great.
think he learned from it.
So a couple of times he does do things that are good for the community. I think he was good enough that he wouldn't be put on bust.
He's a multi-time All-Star.
I'm gonna bring up a bust that you mentioned, Savarian. Maybe one of your brothers
Chris
played.
Taft.
Yeah, Chris Taft.
Yeah.
Apparently your brothers just all played.
No.
I
Joakim.
know.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No,
But see,
joking. Yeah.
so when I was a freshman, Joakim was a senior. We went to Zavarian to play them,
okay.
and it was Joakim versus Taft.
Taft was great,
You know who
wasn't he?
Taft was?
Say that's
7 foot guy, was supposed to be the next, whatever.
He was great.
And Taft dominated Joakim that game. We got killed. We got killed, and like everybody in the neighborhood was there. There was hundreds of people.
Taft was great. You would have known from. And then he went to Pitt. I want to say he was there for 2 years. And his first year, he was very good in Pitt. Second year, wasn't that good. Went into the NBA, maybe it was like a second
Golden
round
State
pick.
drafted him.
Was it a
Second
case of
round
injury
pick.
in college, or
I just kind of lost it. Or maybe he just, you know what? He never filled out his body. He was always like.
He was like a
very
Kwame
tall,
Brown. He was very like
lanky.
awkward.
Like he didn't have the
Minute Bowl?
you have. If he would fit a little bit more in the NBA now, if he had a better jumper, because you don't have these big beefy guys anymore. You have these tall, lanky guys who can put the ball on the floor, who can shoot. He wasn't that polished to shoot. He was just a big guy that was dominating these smaller
And
players.
7-footers generally don't wind
Flame
up,
out, yeah.
especially now. They flame out more than anything. There's barely any 7 foot. Like Porzingis. Look at a guy like Porzingis who's had
Well, the story's not
some
over because he got
success,
hurt. Yeah.
but
But
he's injured often.
Taff was a neighborhood bust because his most famous was probably in Severian.
It was funny because he actually played at Pitt with one of his wait, am I making this up? Excuse me. No, Levance Fields, who played with him at Zavarian.
Okay.
I believe also went to Pitt. He was a year behind him, and they played together. And Levance, it is a true story. I'm not making that up. Levance was phenomenal also.
Yeah.
He ended up playing overseas. He didn't get drafted to the NBA, but he didn't have he had high New York prospect expectations, but he wasn't nationally
nationwide,
Yeah, but the one thing is New York is really, you mentioned basketball being one of the best for Brooklyn-born. We'll expand it for the time being for New York City-born. New York City is really a hub of basketball.
For sure.
Basketball
I mean,
prospects.
just if we're taking it slightly out of Brooklyn, the Rucker Park games. Stuff like basketball is a part of the whole culture of New
It's
York.
okay, just like you said, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is from Manhattan. We go in baseball. Betances is from New York. So we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people in sports. Chris Tavish, Joakim Noah was a great Brooklyn sports moment. It really was for that time.
I'm sure that
those
game is
players were
somewhere
great,
on YouTube or something.
But we have some great sports moments in Brooklyn, and I'm not just going to limit it to Brooklyn teams because unfortunately we don't have as many right now. We'll talk about Brooklyn in general. So what are some great Brooklyn sports moments that you can think of?
I have one personally, and this is it was
Perfect.
2016. I'm sorry, 2016, 2017. It was the inaugural year of the NWHL, which is the first ever professional women's hockey league. And all the Olympic athletes, all the great players that women's hockey in America has been better than men's professional hockey on the international level for quite some time. The program is much better in my opinion. And finally there was a league, and now there's a league that consistently does it. The New York Riveters started their inaugural season, and they play at Aviator.
Okay.
And so I went to see their opening game there, and it was phenomenal to see how much support came out. The players were great. The game was awesome. There was a meet and greet with everybody. So that was when that league first started taking off. They've since moved and aligned with the Devils and play out of the Barnabas Health Center across from the Rock there.
Okay.
But that was such a cool moment.
Upgrade.
Yeah, definitely an upgrade. But such a cool moment to be there for that. So for me, that's
awesome.
my personal best
that
Brooklyn
really is
moment.
awesome.
But you hear the 55 pennant, you hear those calls. That's probably the most Brooklyn moment I can think of sports-wise.
I would say you have a couple with Tyson winning the title. I know it wasn't in Brooklyn, but that's a Brooklyn guy that we're talking about. Him win the title and reaching the pinnacle of heavyweight boxing to hold a title that, as you said, Muhammad Ali held. I mean, that's for him to rise up through the neighborhood and his rough past to hold a title that all those greats held. I think that was a great Brooklyn.
Forget about holding the title. He was. You can argue he was the best heavyweight of all time. You could argue that, and his power punching.
See, I'm not going to disagree
probably
with you
number
all the
one.
time. I'm not going to disagree.
Who said that we ever do? That was off camera. I'm not supposed to reveal that kind of stuff.
Breaking the fourth wall. But yeah, that moment is really cool because you think about, like you said, where he's come from and all that, and being a Brooklyn guy. But it was almost like it was destiny. He was cutting through everyone with such ease. There was no drama there.
First round, he was Ronda Rousey before Ronda.
Everyone, like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, that's what, it's great. It's like sometimes we talked about, and I think some great Brooklyn moments and like kind of, I don't want to say neighborhood games, but how you talked about Taft versus Noah was probably great. Bernard King, we're talking about, was playing in Fort Hamilton. Every game that he played, I'm sure, was a show. When these guys that, especially when in high school, when you're a guy that eventually makes professionals, you're playing in high school, you're just dominating.
Yeah.
There comes to a point where you just, I'm going to expand it just a little bit past Brooklyn. Is that Lamar Odom?
Okay.
I think he went to Christ the King, I want to say.
Yeah.
That's in New York City.
Queens, yeah.
Some people, I have a couple people who said they saw him play and they said he was the greatest player he's ever seen
of all
in his
time.
life. He just dominated everybody on the
They've said
court.
that about
6'10".
Yeah, because he was 6'10", he moved.
They've said that about LaMelo.
Yeah.
Some people have said that he's the best high school ball
We
player
used
they've
to
ever
talk
seen.
about LeVar Ball all the time. Now I'm glad that he's
I met. Listen to this.
he's better than Brooklyn-born Michael Jordan.
I was driving Uber like about 4 or 5 months ago, and I was driving somewhere in Queens, and who walks in front of my car, or like is about to cross. It's like a huge man, and I'm like, that's got to be someone. I take like a closer look. I'm like, that's Lamar Odom. I have a video on my phone. I go, Lamar. He comes to the side of my car. I go, oh man, it's so cool. I shake his hand. I'm like, I met Lamar Odom. He was playing ball with a bunch of random kids.
That's awesome.
He was walking in the park.
That's awesome.
He didn't look too good though. You know, we know what he went through.
Hopefully he's doing a lot better.
I got to shout out one thing. He Got Game. Spike Lee's
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
movie.
Wow.
Jesus Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen, Coney Island. Phenomenal
definitely a
movie
seminal
filmed
You
in
know what
Brooklyn.
I just found out too, and if anyone out there corrects me if I'm wrong, but you know that movie is loosely based on a player that played in New York, Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Who's from New York?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Did you know that He Got Game was?
I didn't know
It's
that.
loosely
I thought
based
I
on
had
his
heard that
life.
years
That's
ago.
what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I first heard that, I was like, whoa, this was like a couple weeks ago. Someone told me that. I was like, I didn't know.
And the fact that Ray Allen was able to show that jersey still sells.
Yeah.
It still sells. People still buy that
Yeah.
jersey.
The movie was so good.
It was a good movie. It's
really
a
good.
man. Ray Allen had some acting chops in it.
I go back now that I've been acting for like 10 years, because when the movie came out, like 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I just like took it at face value the same way that I did pretty much every movie I watch. But now
You appreciate it a lot more.
Well, not only that, but I'll go back, or if I watch He Got Game, I'm actually looking to see if Ray Allen did a good job acting or not, if he's believable. He does a pretty damn good job.
Especially for someone who's that was his first role.
Might be his first and only. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Jordan did a good job too in Space Jam.
Home Alone 7.
Home Alone 7. Look out for it, guys.
It's coming.
Ray
Direct to
Allen,
DVD.
Home Alone 7. But I think, that we got encompassed some Brooklyn moments there, and this is going to be a
What's your Brooklyn moment? We didn't get
I
yours.
said Tyson winning the title.
Oh, that's something better.
Chris really didn't give a Brooklyn moment if you want to.
He Got Game.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the
There we
Brooklyn
go.
moment.
No, there's
Gotta get 'em all.
what do you-
That's fine,
the
that's
Nets playoff games. There was no highlights. I mean, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett came to the Nets. The Islanders are moving out of Brooklyn as soon as they came.
tough, it's
Nobody
tough.
wants to be in Brooklyn.
It's
All
tough.
right,
The
the
NCAA tournament
Dodgers.
has been in Barclays, which is nice for times, and that's really the A-10 tournaments there.
The Big
So
East
Barclays-
is coming back, but it's going
See, that's the problem. Big East used to be huge, and the Big East is rough. New York has got, I don't want to say New York, but, in general, New York has got hit hard in the sports department
sure.
lately.
Terrible.
The Knicks have been, Jim Dolan made an embarrassment recently, yet again. The Brooklyn Nets are doing well, but they're the only Brooklyn team. You got like you said, the Islanders are leaving. There's no, so.
Yeah, is Brooklyn an island? How can they be like, you know what I'm saying? Like where the island is, but, we're in Brooklyn.
I got to throw in
Brooklyn
one.
technically is on Long Island.
Technically.
Yeah.
I don't love
It is.
Don't ever say that out loud.
But it's true.
Best Brooklyn moment,
Don't be embarrassed.
or time,
Long Island, you can't be connected to that.
1889. Dodgers, Giants, 1889. First Subway Series ever. Dodgers, Giants, 1889. So if we really want to hit what happened in the hometown of Brooklyn, and the Dodgers Giants rivalry is obviously still as
Abe
shot
Lincoln
heard around,
hit,
and they
yeah.
shot heard around the world. I
was gonna say,
but
Abe
that was
Lincoln
in
hit
Polo Grounds.
Yeah.
What? Look, you're talking about Brooklyn history, 1889.
I don't think anybody cares though anymore about that.
Well, care about what?
We care
Well,
here.
you baseball historians
The
do.
shot heard around
but,
the world.
I mean, no, not that. But like 1889, like
I was gonna say no one cares about that.
no, not that. I'm saying.
If I play that record, the Giants win the pennant.
Oh, no,
Every
not that.
sports-
I'm
oh.
talking. If you go back, because like if you watch the original, baseball clips or football clips when it was first invented, it was a complete different game.
yeah.
Not the 60s or 70s. I'm talking the 1800s, but
Well, it's
still
1889,
historic,
so
right?
They all had
But-
onions on their belt,
Well,
which
we're-
was the style
yeah.
at the time.
Well, he's talking history. And we might make a little history right now here without Brooklyn moment.
All
But
right.
We're doing a little Brooklyn trivia here.
Okay.
So it's going to have a few sports, going to have a few landmarks, going to have a few pop culture. I went easy on you guys. I
Okay.
believe I made some questions. I threw you some softballs in there. I'm just giving a heads up. This doesn't count towards your
Our
heated
overall
rivalry.
feud.
No. You're
Feud.
still on pause at 1-1.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that feud is better in a video game, objective. I don't want to pull a Vince McMahon card on you guys.
Well, here he can't run out the clock.
Exactly,
So.
exactly. So you know what? If you guys if this trivia works well, I'll let you bring it into the feud, and I'll step up as Vince.
We'll see.
But, so we got some questions.
If I
for
win,
you.
count it. If I lose, don't count it.
You see?
Gotta
this
get it
is
done
this is
however you can.
this is our
Classic.
gimmick. So you got to press it. I wanted to make sure. We're pressing it, then pressing it again.
What we did when Lou was here is if you get it wrong, you get -1. So you can't just like.
Okay.
You remember
What
that?
you want to do? So
Okay.
we go with that -1 if you get one wrong.
Because you can't just.
Fast forward to him
L&B.
just not answering anything.
Well, someone's got to answer. That's a rule of mine. Someone's got to answer. I'm not just giving
like
you the
it.
answers.
Whatever.
All right. So we're going to get to the first question. Almost all the questions out. Name the bridge.
Brooklyn Bridge.
-1.
I decline answering.
Nah. That's right. I only said one person.
Only one person.
So you can't answer
Can I
that?
guess again? Can I guess again?
You can't answer that?
Can I guess again?
Let him guess.
Well,
That's-
let who guess?
Steven.
Okay. But you
Minus.
no minus.
No minus. Okay.
Mr. Bridgeside gave the ruling.
I don't know.
I took
the
a tough
Manhattan
one.
Bridge.
No.
Queensboro.
see? No, you guys don't. That's the Williamsburg Bridge.
All right, there's only 4 bridges it could be.
I know.
I know it
and
could be
you
like
guys,
8, but
I can't. See, that was the tough. The Brooklyn Bridge. I'm sorry. You thought that was the Brooklyn Bridge? You really
Brooklyn
thought that was
Bridge
the
is
Brooklyn
bri-
Bridge?
I knew
it's
that.
brick.
I drive on that bridge. I drive on all those bridges all the time. but
Clearly. I
take the
I don't
train.
know.
And the train goes over the Williamsburg Bridge.
All right, you made up the
But I'm in the
questions.
train. I can't
Well,
see
I'm
them.
sorry. The Manhattan could be confused. Brooklyn.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
sorry. All right. I'm keeping in the bridge theme for the next question.
Okay.
Okay. This one you both get to answer.
Verrazano.
No. See, that's the Verrazano Bridge. That's part of the question. Both of you get a part of this question. Closest wins. Hello, Brooklyn history.
Okay.
When was this? When
Okay. Sorry, I was
did it
turning off.
open?
Oh, did you the exact year?
You closest to
Okay.
the year wins.
Okay.
You both get a choice.
I almost Googled this the other
Closest
day.
without going over?
You want to do Price is Right rules? Can't go over. Let's go. Can't go over. That's a beautiful bridge.
That
not
is
for
a
nothing.
beautiful
It's a beautiful bridge. Long.
Sure, it leads to Staten Island.
I think it's
which
the
is a
longest bridge.
dumpster fire, but
This guy's just
sorry.
hating on everyone right
I
now.
hate Staten Island.
I'll go 1886.
That is.
Oh my God,
1970.
that's terrible.
You went over, so he's gonna win with 1886.
1955.
When?
1964. How did you say 1886?
I wasn't that far off.
Well, you went over.
I know.
I can't believe you went over.
supposed to say-
I was
When
in the
he said
ballpark.
1886, all you had to say is 1900, and you
All you
win.
had to say is 1887.
Yeah.
$1. I know. I
That
wanted to
was-
show off.
Chris, how did you win with that guess? 1886 is probably. In all
Nobody knows
fairness,
what the hell the score is.
in all fairness, 1886 is probably when the Brooklyn Bridge was built. Okay, so you're both at even now. You're at 0 and you're at 0 now. So start it off over. Okay, next question. Let's get the picture up. Let's get the
man.
graphic and wait for the question. On what holiday?
July 4th.
He said, wait for the question. You gotta let him finish the question.
I buzzed before he said wait for the question.
Okay, hold on. I'm giving him the point, but Steven's right. You gotta. It's like Jeopardy. You gotta wait for me to finish
Okay,
the
fine,
question.
fine. Yeah,
Both
but
of you. 'Cause
I
you
buzzed
in
before you
I
said
asked finish the
yes.
question.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
No.
I was just trying to catch up.
No, you gotta wait for me to. You're right, July 4th.
and
Don't
it's
worry,
Joey
had I gotten
Chestnut,
it first, I
bonus.
would have said it, and then he would have said it,
I
and
know.
then it would have been
You're
the same
winning
thing.
1-0, but I agree.
Do we have to wait till the end of the question?
Wait for the end of my question, not till I start.
Well, if we get it wrong, we get -1.
You gotta wait till I finish the question. Jeopardy
Kobayashi.
rules.
Fine.
All right. This was mentioned in the broadcast, so this is a memory question. Here we go. A little picture. In what year did the Brooklyn Dodgers finally beat the Yankees?
1955.
1955.
Shooter.
You're not a baseball guy, so you.
I wouldn't have known that.
He said in the thing.
I am a baseball guy. I don't know that.
All right, we're back tied up
Garbage.
at 1-1. All right, let's get the next picture. All right, this is a famous movie right now. We got Lenny's Pizza in the background. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to know if it was Lenny's Pizza.
I do. It's right around the corner
That
from
would have been a
Danny
tough
Axel's
question,
house.
so I didn't
know
do
exactly where it is.
Okay. What is the name of the famous song in this movie?
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
Woo! And that's 20th Avenue and 86th Street.
Yeah.
I ate there last week.
So the score's
Good
2
for
to
you.
1.
2 for 1. See, I was going to ask what was the pizzeria, but
Yeah,
I wasn't
oh,
sure.
let's
So I
wait
said,
for the
let me
end
know
of the-
this
wait for
song.
the question.
That's another famous Brooklyn movie right
Oh,
there.
for sure,
Saturday
yeah.
Night Fever, John Travolta.
wanna be a
So we
dancer.
got 2-1 now. Oh, wait for the question again. What is the name of Mr. Bridgeside's favorite pizzeria?
Ellen Base from Morning Garden.
Allen B. Spumoni Garden. There we go.
That
That
was a
is.
close one.
That was close,
See, we
but
threw-
you know what? Respect. Because it was too close to call.
We took in Mr. Bridgeside, and that is Mr. Bridgeside's favorite pizzeria.
I used to live across the street from it at
There
the
you go.
Marlboro Projects.
Yeah,
I used to eat there
fantastic.
every
It's
weekend.
delicious.
Yeah.
It's been
Lot of
around
bees,
for,
though.
Been
Like,
around
what's with
for
the
a long,
bees?
Been around for a long, long time. All right, let's bring it. This is a Crystal's Hour question, I believe. If anything.
All right.
Steve, I'm sorry. Here we go. What is the nickname of this well-known Bay Ridge mansion?
The gingerbread house.
There we go.
I wouldn't know that.
Next door to my uncle's house.
I had to.
Oh, come on!
And my grandfather's in the next house
practically
over.
lives there. Look, does that say
83rd,
Lazaro
the corner of
on the
83rd
gate?
and
First of
Narrows,
all,
next to Fort Hamilton.
we know where Crystal's Hour grew up because this house is like worth $15 million.
No wonder Poly Prep
Come
was
on,
in
wait.
play.
This is a Bay Ridge. This is a Bay Ridge Bay studio. That's a
okay.
well-known Bay Ridge house.
3-2,
Are
right?
they-
Just
are
say
they
the
still on
score,
sale?
okay?
3-2.
Just, I
Chris
wanna
is
make
right.
sure.
Right.
I was asking you a question if it's still on sale because I know you live around
I don't
there.
know. I think
They
it
were
is.
asking
I think
for
it
a
is.
lot of money.
Yeah. Oof.
Right
That
across
house
from
used to
Fort
have
Hamilton High
killer
School.
dogs.
Put up a
dude.
25-cent juice and ask him what it's called.
25-cent juice.
No, it's a quarter water.
Quarter drink.
It's a quarter water. Come on.
Could be
I
quarter
guess
water.
it's
definitely
regional.
a quarter drink. I know this is the barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
When you were at Fort Hamilton, they didn't have the killer dogs anymore over there?
Kill it.
They were already gone?
So
They used to have these like dogs that
Oh,
were
I'm
like...
not sure if the killer dogs are still there.
No, they're not there anymore, but I mean like 10, 15, whatever.
I don't remember that.
They used to have like a low fence and
Yeah.
the dogs would sometimes jump over and
So did,
attack people.
so did I lose?
No,
was
no. We got one more question.
Got one more so I could tie it up?
Yeah.
Do we
got
go to
time.
sudden death?
Yeah. I guess we'll figure out an overtime.
All right, I'm locked onto the screen.
I'll have a. What is the name of this amusement park and what in the image you see?
It is now Luna Park,
Okay, I'll give you. And what's the ride?
and the ride is a parachute drop.
Very good.
I would have never got that.
Okay.
Where the heck is that?
It
So now
was.
it's tied. So I gotta
It
get.
was Wonderland. It's Coney Island.
The name of the Coney Island Park is Luna Park?
Luna Park now.
I want to
even know-
make
when
you
did they-
lose
when
just
did
for
they
not knowing.
change it to
Right?
that?
No, so
a while ago.
yeah, it's Coney Island. I would have gave you for Coney Island.
Yeah.
But look, so here we go. So we're tied here, and I'm gonna give you a tiebreaker related to Coney Island. So there's no pictures here. What are the very famous 2 roller coasters that are in Coney Island?
Oh, I know one.
Of course.
If I get one, does that
No,
count?
you're both gonna get 1. I'm gonna have to give you 2 here. I'm making it tough.
I'm gonna take the one. It's the Cyclone.
Yeah, I could have done the Cyclone
Could
too.
have, but you didn't.
And
So
neither
give
of you
us
know the
one
other
too.
one?
No.
Thunderbolt?
No.
Thunderbolt and Cyclone.
I can't believe it. This
So
is
we need a ruling on the field.
no.
Do we get another question?
We're gonna have to think of a question off the top of my head. I added wrong and I gave you 8 questions. I thought I'd give you 9. That's my mistake, guys. I honestly thought I had
I just
9.
can't
Well,
believe.
the minus is kind of even.
I can't believe 1876 or whatever. I can't believe I went over.
I'm completely
I can't
blaming you on that one, actually.
Yeah.
He said 1886 and you had no reason.
But I knew the
I
staying
don't-
alive. You just buzzed in earlier.
Well, that's part of the game.
That's part of the game too. I'm saying if he's making an excuse, I'm gonna make an excuse.
Of course.
It's 3-3.
It's 3-3.
Ow! And this mic is up my.
But I got
you know.
one more question right. So it's 3.5 to 3 because I got Wonder. I got the Cyclone. It's 3.5.
I'm devastated.
Shut your light off before
Oh.
the question, okay?
What's that?
Because it's invalid.
I don't even know if there is another question.
Oh, there's no way they're gonna know. Does anyone know my favorite pizzeria?
The Farahs.
No.
Rays.
No. Say exactly.
Luigi.
Just gonna say Italian.
Italian names.
Pizza wagon. Yeah.
How many
Even though it's fallen down a little, but that is a classic
doesn't-
of mine.
oh,
That
come
is
on.
a staple of mine.
That doesn't count.
No. We gotta throw it as a tie. We gotta throw it as a tie. I think that's fitting.
Reluctantly.
It's a fitting for you
Reluctant
to tie.
tie.
It's a fitting tie for you guys, because you guys messed up the sudden death question, which I don't even understand.
Okay.
But okay, I'm gonna take blame of that.
Who the hell knows the Thunderbolt?
A lot of people.
Once he said it, I was like,
Sure.
It's a very famous ride.
Yeah.
You didn't even know the parachute jump.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so
But I mean, he didn't know the Brooklyn Bridge, and I didn't know the freaking other
okay,
one.
guys, you know what?
We didn't do you proud, Brooklyn. Let's just say that.
And I
No, I guarantee, just like the remote thing that we were discussing, which way to hold the remote, I guarantee if you show that bridge to, I'm telling you, like, I look at those bridges every day, and yes, I'm an idiot for not knowing that the Brooklyn Bridge wasn't blue, but I was given a strong thought, and like
it's not even. Look, the only thing about the Brooklyn Bridge is not even that. Brooklyn Bridge isn't metal; it's brick.
Fine, but those are facts that you know.
So do you. You don't know the Brooklyn Bridge is made of brick?
Yeah, if you look at the Williamsburg Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, and the Brooklyn Bridge.
If you look at the Williamsburg and the Manhattan Bridge, I'll give you.
It's confusing because they're all so close together.
You can confuse
so
those two. I just don't think you confuse the Brooklyn Bridge with it. Would you agree?
Which
with
is
me
what
there?
I did. I confused the two. I said the Manhattan Bridge.
I want to see a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge.
It doesn't matter. You guys tied. We can make fun. It doesn't matter. He showed up when it came for a couple.
I
and you showed up
blew
when
it.
it counted. I blew it too.
No,
but
that's
maybe
okay.
8 questions, not 9.
I
But
blew
anyway.
it.
That's our episode for
Lose some
Brooklyn Verse. We got a tie, so we're gonna push it to another. It's perfect for your feud. I want the feud to keep going, so that means we keep going to the next video game, the next time you guys meet. But tomorrow, I want you guys to tune into Expansion Project. It's gonna be the Bridgeside live guest right here in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, right near the gingerbread house that Stephen James just learned about.
With the killer dogs.
The Killer Dogs, and we're gonna be another great show for you guys at Bridgeside Live. And I think we had another great show of Brooklyn Verse. For Chris, Steven, have a good night, everybody.
Do we do it like is